Well, hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I don't know about you, but one thing I've never done before that I've always wanted to do is to throw a traditional English tea party. Now, I'm not English or a tea expert, or truth be known, I don't even like tea that much, but I love everything else about it. The ceremony, the tea sandwiches, the chance to chat with friends and be fancy. So I figured with spring coming, it would be the perfect time to do a tea party for some of my friends. But you know me, it cannot be an ordinary party. I always try to take it up a few notches and have a theme to carry the whole design through. In this case, I decided to do a secret garden theme, which would go along very well, I think, for a tea party. So come on in and explore with me all my ideas for throwing this amazing and beautiful secret garden tea party.
Well, hello there everyone. Well, today I'm going to share with you a little bit of a haul that I did at thrift store planning for my upcoming garden tea party. So let me show you some of the things that I was able to get. One of the things I want to do is to have like a little crafting session as well, where people get to kind of make candles out of teacups. So I've been kind of finding teacups and I want them to be all different, and hopefully with the saucer I think it looks cuter. So I was able to find this cute set for $4.99, so that wasn't bad. That was one thrift store, that's all I found there. I went to this other thrift store and I got a few more things. I found another teacup set, very cute, and I think, I don't remember how much that one was. Let me see if I have it in here. How much was that teacup? I think it was $2.99. They didn't have a price, so they just made up a price. They also had this thing, which I know actually you can find it at for $5, usually at Five Below if you have any of those stores near you. And I already have one, but it would, and I'm already used, so kind of thinking of using one. So I figured another one might be good, especially because again it's a garden theme. So I want things that have a little bit of that kind of rustic look to them. And then the last thing that I got there was this little plate where I think I'm going to put my little pot of jam and clotted cream. So that was $2.99. Not bad. I didn't have anything like that. So that's that. Now, of course, I needed another teapot. I'll show you the ones that I have already, but I wanted like at least 3 teapots because I want to have 3 different kinds of tea. I want one for water, one for Earl Grey tea, and then another one for chai tea because that's the only kind of tea I like. I don't like really tea, so for me at least. Anyway, so I got this cute little one. This is another thrift store and it was only $3.98. So I figured, hey, can't beat that. Oh look, it has the price. It was originally from Ross. How about that? But they cover up the price. I'm sure it wasn't that expensive. But anyway, I thought, why go with everything? And then I'm gonna use my place setting from my wedding, which I never got to use it for anything. So I have, a normal coffee cup with the little saucer and all that. But I was looking for some kind of vintagey, kind of like a champagne kind of flutes, because I want to also serve like a little drink on the side besides just the tea. And they had this really beautiful, and I don't own any of this kind of stuff. I've never had a crystal or anything like that. This one even makes a pretty sound, so who knows, it might be good stuff for all I know. But anyway, the best thing was the price. So they had a set of this for $6.98, and it was Orange Day, so I got an extra 25% off that. So that was a dealio. And they had only 4. I wanted a set of 8, and right next to it they had this other set that is very similar, as you can see. If you see them side by side, right? So the same height, about the same kind of diameter. So people are not gonna tell they're different, and I'm gonna alternate them. So that makes my set of 8. And these ones were a set of 4 for $4.98, so even cheaper than the other ones. So I was happy with that. So I'll have one of those per person. Then I also have in the table, I was planning on using this kind of chunky white candlesticks, and who knows, I might still go back to those because I move things around. But I was kind of hoping for a crystal kind of a candle holder, and look what I found. I found 2 of them. a pear. Isn't this pretty? I've never even seen stuff like this, to put a nice tall taper, because sometimes it's nice to get that height on the table, you know. $4.98 each. Oh, and it's orange, so they were probably 25% off that too. So I like that there. And then this one's, I don't know if I'll use them for this or something else, but I just thought they were so pretty. And I think I would like to use it maybe for a little tea light or something like that, or maybe for something else. I think they're meant to, probably for cordials or some fancy drink like that. But anyway, they were 4 for $3.98. I couldn't pass them up. So all those was that second thrift store that I went to. So moving right along. Also from another thrift store, I got one of these really heavy and nice. It was probably for sugar and probably, I don't know. I'm gonna use it for probably either jam or cream. I had another crystal thing for my wedding that was like a cream and sugar, and I think I broke the creamer, so I only have the sugar with the little top. So I have that one, and now I'll have this one, which sort of kind of matches. It's, you know, it's crystal, you know, it's clear. And it was $5 for that one, so that wasn't bad. And then I found a few other teacups. I didn't realize when I got home that this probably was not the one for this one, but you know, it's plain, but oh well. You know, I like them kind of pretty, but also I don't want to spend a ton of money on them. But anyway, this is for the candle. So this one's $2, and the little saucer was also $2. So $4 for the set. This one was particularly pretty. You know, it has the pretty flowers on the inside. So when you drink, or in this case, when you make the candle. And then this was also $2 each, so not bad there. And finally, I have one more here, little cup and saucer. Again, $2 each. So again, those will be kind of like a little kind of gifts for the guests, and also part of the kind of the crafting party. We'll do that first. We're gonna do that at another craft. Anyway, and then the rest of the stuff that I have is actually from Dollar Tree, but I just want to show it to you briefly because I have it here, so might as well. You might have seen this before, but there's a nice, you know, kind of easy way of making a candle where you buy this kind of candles at Dollar Tree, which are, you know, again, $1.25. You put them in a pot of hot water and you melt them, and basically you're gonna end up with a big long wick and just melted wax. So you can, from there, you can just pour into wherever you're gonna be using it at. So kind of that's the idea. I've never done that before. I've seen it. It seems easy enough. A little dangerous maybe, but I probably have to use some good pot holders and stuff to kind of grab the thing. But anyway, but I thought that'd be a fun thing for the guests to try. So we'll do that. And then also at Dollar Tree, they have this fun kind of essential oils, of different kinds, you know. So I figured the guests might have, you know, want to put different kinds of essential oils. But I think I have a few other ones too. So we'll have plenty of choices. Harvest Berry, and the other ones, I can't even read this, so tiny. But anyway, so that's for that. We're gonna make some fascinator hats as part of our crafts. So I just got some kind of good old flowers at Dollar Tree. You know, if I don't use them for that, I'll use them for something else, but I figured they never come. They always, you know, come in handy. This was actually called tea rose. How about that? You know, it always comes out for something. And again, I don't know if I'll use it, but it never. For a tea party, you always think doilies, right? So I have doilies, so I might probably use them for something. And then they also had these cute long toothpicks with little flowers and butterflies, which I thought would be perfect for the sandwiches, for these little tea sandwiches. So that's for the plan for that. And then they also had this kind of netting, which I thought would be great for making the hats. I might get more. Well, who knows, it's 5 yards. Anyway, this would be great for making the hats, or for making bows for the hats or something like that, for the fascinator hats. So that's gonna be fun. And they had these beautiful little jars at Dollar Tree. I don't even know what I'm gonna use them for, but I thought they were perfect for my theme, and I'll come up with something for them. You know, who knows, maybe I'll just put some flowers on them or something. And that's it. I mean, that's the haul of all the things that I have so far for my tea party. Let me show you also what's happening on the table so far. Okay, so I did a test run to kind of see what I had, what I needed, and what would work together in terms of some of the ideas that I have so far for my tea party. I'll be actually taking all this down. For one, it all needs to be washed, but also because I have a top that I'm going to use. I don't know if you saw my other videos, but I mentioned that there's this top here. It's basically a 4x8 piece of plywood I made a long time ago. I just cut, rounded the corner. That's all I did. And all I do is I put it on top of my table, and that helps to kind of extend it, because my table sits comfortably, probably 6, not 8. I mean, right now I have 8 chairs, and you see that they're kind of crowded, and I'd really like to have a little bit more room. So anyway, so I'm gonna show you a little bit of what I have in mind so far. So let's start with the place setting. Well, here, this is my china from my wedding, which I never use. So it's black and white, but it has this kind of delicate, kind of springy color flowers. So I thought it'd be pretty to use with this. I've had these chargers forever, and I use them for everything. And I thought they'd be really great for this as well. Again, brings a little bit of that garden kind of outside theme. And here's a little teacup or coffee cup that comes with it, which I thought was very dainty and kind of appropriate for the occasion. I also found this napkins. I don't remember where, maybe Home Goods. Anyway, so I thought the colors were perfect, for kind of a spring kind of garden kind of theme. So those will be your napkins. And I normally like to use a napkin ring, but at the same time, I kind of didn't want to cover up the whole plate. So I might try this method. It's not one that I normally do. And I was playing with the idea, do I want to take the napkin all the way up, or do I just want to take it kind of like that? So that's part of what I'm playing with. And also I might end up putting something in the middle. I haven't decided yet, so we'll see about that. And then as I was doing my little research, kind of looking at things, I found out that apparently for tea and for little desserts, you need to have a separate kind of like a spoon and a little fork. So I found this cute, this is actually a teaspoon. You see it's very small. They're not your normally teaspoons that you eat with. And this is a dessert fork. Is that the cutest thing you ever saw or what? Anyway, it was a great price at Amazon, so I thought I need to go for those. At first I had considered using these glasses. These are Moroccan tea glasses for my kind of drink on the side. I don't know. I mean, I still like them and they're really pretty. I don't know if I'll use them in addition to my wine kind of goblet, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. This little cutie here, I found at Michael's. They actually had 40% off, so I took advantage of that and I bought that little thing. The only thing I don't like is that on the back's kind of ugly. It doesn't have anything on the back. So I might have to come up with something to kind of make the back not be so ugly. Okay, so that's the place setting. Now let's move on to the centerpiece. In terms of the centerpiece, I have two things. I have a 3-tier tray. And what I did here, as I mentioned in a previous video, I don't think you need to buy a special one. Though some of those are quite expensive, $30, $40. If you have one, sure, great, use a 3-tier tray. But again, as I've mentioned many times before, you can make a 3-tier tray out of anything. And this one is basically, I was able to find at a thrift store a complete set, and they were selling it individually. Plate, salad plate, saucer, and cup. So I knew that with some kind of inexpensive Dollar Tree candle holders, I'd be able to make a 3-tier tray. And in this case, to give it a little bit more elevation, let me take it apart because I haven't glued it together yet. I normally use basically what's called candle wax or quake wax. See, right now it's just sitting there. Oh, and these little tongs also came with the set of forks and spoons from Amazon. I thought it came with 3 of these, so it's great. So see, I mean, basically that's all it is. And then I had this little kind of cake plate from Christmas. This is from the Christmas Target section for hot cocoa and things like that. And it just helps to kind of elevate it and gives me space to maybe put some florals in the table. So that worked out pretty good. So that's what I have so far. And I may also be able to borrow a 3-tier setup that my friend has. So that'll be another thing. I'll probably end up putting some flowers. Actually, I was able to find these kind of spring florals Actually at the thrift store, they had a whole bunch of like new stuff wrapped up and everything. You never know what you're gonna find at a thrift store. That's why you gotta check it out. And it come actually like in a vine like that. The little bird I already had. These cute vases were also from Michael's. Again, if I had seen the other ones first, I probably would not have gotten this, but they're really nice and they're heavy, and I thought they'd be cute for little bud vases throughout. I got 3 of them, and they're 40% off, so they were like, ended up being like $4 each, so it's not too bad, I guess. Then here, this is what I was mentioning. This is the other of those kind of wood-like things that I have where I'm gonna probably set the tea. Again, I was lucky enough to find in the thrift store, the same thrift store where I got the plates for the 3-tier tray, I was able to find the matching sugar and creamer. Oftentimes when you go to a thrift store, they have one or not the other, or they don't have the cover. I got really lucky in this case, and I was able to find all of it. And they were only like $4.99 for that one, and I think this was like $5 also for, you know, the little cup of that. So that was great. Now this little teapot I've had for a while. I used to do these Moroccan parties, which in fact kind of inspired a lot of what this channel is about. Anyway, so I had this Moroccan pot, so I thought, well, you know, it's silver, it looks cute, and you know, why not use it? And I'll probably end up putting the hot water here. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but that's probably what it's gonna be. But what's interesting here that I've kind of came up with was that I wanted to be able to have kind of like a spinning trivet here. So how did I do that? So this thing comes on its own, right? You've seen the other side of it, it's just that. And that's just a plate, it could be any plate. But the idea is that that is actually a Lazy Susan that I had actually in my crafts room. So I figured that I couldn't just put the wood trivet there directly because the way the little feet align with it, it doesn't quite align, right? So yeah, it would have to be kind of lopsided. But if I put a plate, oops, if I put a plate, the plate does pretty good, you know, center it first, of course. And then put this fits within the plate. Then we got a Lazy Susan, and also has a little height, which is great. So anyway, so I was happy about that. So that's one of the little things that I'll be doing. Also, these are the candle holders I was mentioning that I might either keep or I might do the glass ones that I showed you earlier. So that's another thought. I might also do a runner. By the way, this nice tablecloth, I just thought it was very appropriate, and fortunately it kind of worked with my china. It has butterflies and flowers, and it's pretty neutral, so I thought that was good. And I want to integrate a lot of butterflies also into this. So anyway, so that's kind of what I have planned so far. I'll start to say I might do a runner. I have an idea of doing a runner with actually a piece of artificial grass that I have that at one point I'll put in my yard, but now it's not there anymore. But anyway, you'll see. That's going to come later when we get to do the DIYs. But for now, I wanted you to see at least kind of where we're at. Now, in terms of what else is happening, I also have this chandelier here, right? And I want to be able to, and I already put one little thing of flowers up there, but I want to really kind of cover it up with a lot of vines and flowers and things like that. Probably really cascading down into the table, maybe some flying butterflies, something like that. So I want to look very much like you are in the middle of a garden and you're kind of dripping with garden everywhere. So that brings up the question, right? What happens there? This is where I've kept my window in the past, you know, my Parisian window. When I had my Oscar party, I had the paparazzi there. So the view, as you can see, is not great. So I have a plan for that. I'll show you that a little later, but I have an idea for that. Now, in terms of florals, I have a lot of florals, and I've been kind of organizing them here, as you can see, because these are all florals that I want to use for the chandelier, maybe around the chandelier, and another idea that I have coming up. So I have a lot to work with. So I'm sure that it's going to be like, oh, that's not enough, but we'll see. We'll make it work. Well, as I mentioned before, in the process of setting the table, I showed you kind of some of the preliminary plans that I had for it, but I wanted to expand it. Remember, I showed you that I had this 4x8 that I put on top of my glass top so that I can actually sit more and more comfortably. I can actually fit up to 12 people sometimes in this table. So anyway, but you know me, table, pretty, sure. That's not enough. I need to take it up a few levels. So this is the idea. I actually want to build almost like a gazebo because again, the concept is secret garden, right? So I want to feel when the guests come in through the door, they feel like they are getting transported into a special kind of secret place, which is the secret garden. So I want to create kind of a gazebo. So this is the idea so far. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, well, I had made this kind of stands out of copper pipes and basically wood rounds many years ago because I used to do these Moroccan parties right here, and I used to basically use this thing, and I would kind of put all kinds of drapery and all kinds of stuff on it. So it's just been sitting on my garage for a while, so I figured why not use them again. This copper pipe I bought a long time ago. Now it's a lot more expensive when I bought it, but it's basically just copper pipe and fittings, as you can see, which, it's really like building Tinker Toys. If you ever play with Tinker Toys, they kind of, what it's like. They literally just, I don't solder anything into place. They basically just sit in it. It's just like a basic fitting. And later, we'll make it pretty and cover it up with other things so you don't see the kind of the ugly thing. So basically, I have 4 of them, and I have one that will go across the top there. These are 8 feet high. And then I also have some that will go through the side, and I'll show you that in a bit. But basically the idea is that I'm hoping that I can find some lattice panels that I could put on the corners to kind of give that feeling that you're kind of entering a gazebo. So kind of that's where we're at right now.
So I looked into the idea of using garden lattice panels, the ones you often see above pergola, but turns out that they're quite expensive. So I searched for another solution. I saw a video from this party company, and they use this kind of camo netting in white, which I thought would work. It looks a bit more organic than using just drapery, and I like that it's easy to work with and easy to store. So of course I found it at Amazon, and I've ordered it, and now I'm waiting for it. In addition, I also bought these long vines at Amazon to help cover up the netting. Hopefully it will all work. Now, I feel that any secret garden deserves a secret gate, so I wanted to create a gated entry to my tea party. I found this picture particularly inspiring. I love the idea of creating the illusion that it is an iron gate. You never know where inspiration can come from. This is a door that I saw at Lowe's, and this is a greeting card I found that also reinforced my idea of creating a curved gate. In terms of materials, I knew that they had some garden trellises at Dollar Tree that could possibly help me in creating this wrought iron door effect. I then remembered I bought this white arch a long time ago for a party, and I thought it would work great to create my gated entry. So I pulled it out of the garage and assembled it.
Okay, let me show you some of the materials that I'm considering for my gate. Remember, I want to create like a grand entry so you feel like you're entering a secret garden. So I'm going to reuse these columns, which you may remember from my Oscar party. So I'm going to repurpose them. You bet. Of course, I am going to go ahead and paint them, and I wanted to give them like a little bit of a stone treatment, probably sponge on some with sponges to make it look like it's made out of stones. So that's kind of the idea there. Now for the tops, I think it'd be nice if they had like I guess they call them capstones, what they call them. So that's where the styrofoam comes in. I was able to find this at Lowe's. This whole sheet is like $7. And as you can see, it's actually 7 something. It's a nice thickness, but I want it to be even thicker. So I'm going to put 2 of them, one on top of the other. I'm going to cut it to size to kind of go around it. Now, like in my inspiration picture, every nice little capstone has like a detail on top. So I was lucky to find these little cages. These are actually from Daiso, the little Japanese store. Everything is $1.75. I saw this and it reminded me a lot of my inspiration picture. So the idea is I got 2 of them for each side, and if you put them together, you end up with a nice dome. if you can tell, but basically that's going to be the idea. I could probably use zip tie them together. And then he needed a finial, right? So I went looking around Daiso and I found this little guy. And there you go, it's going to be a finial. Isn't that cute? Well, it look better when it's not crooked. And then I'm going to paint my arch black so that it all look like it's an iron gate. Now, what to make the doors out of? That's gonna be the biggest interesting thing to do. Let me show you what I have in mind. Okay. And since every good secret garden gate deserves an actual door, I wanted to try to kind of make the illusion it's actually made of wrought iron. So this is the thought so far. I'm going to take 1x2s and I'm going to create a frame for each of the doors. They don't need to be quite this wide, but I think the opening is about 4 feet, so they might be quite about as much as you see right now. Anyway, so, and then there is a curve on top, and that's the part that kind of tricked me as much for a while there. But I figured that you can probably cut around the top. You'll have to see that later. It's hard to show you that now. But anyway, based on my other inspiration pictures, I'm going to use dowels in between to look as if these kind of elements are connecting. It's all going to be painted black, just like the plastic, and it should all blend in. So that's kind of the idea. And then I'll come up with some kind of nice handle, and those would be my doors for my secret garden gate. And I also want to do like a little sign. I found this little kind of sign that from Dollar Tree that I can probably kind of paint and kind of write some words on to say my secret garden or something like that. And I had this shepherd's hook forever. So I probably can find a pot or something where I can stick it in. I'll probably put it towards the front of the entry so people can see it as they come in. So that will be my secret garden entry. Let me know what you guys think.
So I hope you enjoyed this little planning session with me. I am very excited to continue working on all these projects and seeing how it all turns out. Please subscribe and join me in this journey. Until the next time.